Okay, we are in the, maybe, hopefully not, but I mean the beginning of a second wave of the pandemic, of the COVID pandemic. And I was wondering, why is it that we have to go through a second wave, or maybe a third wave, or maybe, whatever. And I think because we missed an opportunity. The way I look at things is life is providing you with many opportunities to do the right thing. And the question is, do you do the right thing, and you actually see those opportunities as an ability to do the right thing rather than to see them as a punishment and so on and so forth. I think that having this whole closure in terms of the COVID, people are dying, and that's horrible and that's sad. And I'm not a conspiracy person. I don't believe in those conspiracies. I think it's it's another opportunity for you not to do the right thing by claiming conspiracies. But if I'm going to look at a situation, what happens? And I'm going to tell you, if you handle this, or we handle this the right way, it will give us a good opportunity to come back and to do a complete reset, to live life according to Jewish values that are appropriate for us and they're appropriate for the community. I'll give you an example. Let's say, for example, we talk about weddings. Why do weddings have to be so large? Why they have to be so big? Why they have to be so elaborate? I remember stories that my parents told me that it wasn't like that. Weddings were not like that. I remember weddings not being such a big thing, but I do remember how they're growing and becoming bigger. And, like for example, I remember there was a big bang in wedding after Princess Diane married Charles. Everybody wanted to do the thing, so everybody was having her style of a ring and her style there, so let's say some celebrity does it, and then everybody says, well, they do it, I can throw money more, I can do it more, and then it becomes a whole big thing. And it has nothing to do with Jewish values. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Maybe I can tell you even the opposite. I don't care if you are the daughter or the son of this big chief rabbi that has 20, 50,000 followers, or you're just a little guy that has, a couple of friends. What's the point of getting married? Is that getting married for a show? Are you making this big wedding for making money? Is that a business opportunity in which everybody is playing the role? The wedding halls and the rabbis are making money, and the flower arrangements, and is that because of it's an industry and therefore we all fall trapped to it? So guess what? God does us a favor. He says, guys, you can't do a wedding. People don't say don't get married, but you can have a wedding. So what do we need in terms of Jewish law or Jewish tradition? What do we need to get married? Basically, we need a man and a woman. That's without a doubt. That's a wedding. I'm not getting into that, but you know what I'm saying? A man and a woman. Technically, we need 2 witnesses. Technically, 2 witnesses will make it a wedding. But we want to make it better, so we're going to have minimum of 10 people. 10 men. You guess what? I'll throw you 5 more for good measures. 15 men, 15 women. That's 30 people for a wedding. What's the problem? Get married, get on with your life. Are you doing so to get money? Is that a business? If that's a business, listen, there are better ways to make money. But you don't make a wedding to make a business. What do you need? Why do you need to have an 8-piece band? Really? Good thing Pavarotti is dead. Maybe you would have invited him also to sing you a little Ave Maria, in a wedding. Lama lo, might as well. So you have a one-man band, or a guy who plays a couple of songs, by the best singers, plays a playlist, and that's it. Goodbye, good luck, you're done. Get on with your life. What is this all about? And having this quote-unquote restrictions, I don't see them as like conspiracies and so on and so forth in terms of what we're doing, rather than a setting for us, an opportunity to set back, to reset ourselves, because if we are not going to reset ourselves, it's just going to get more and more and more until we got to understand that. So if, for example, the government is telling you, please don't make weddings more than, I don't know, whatever, 25 people, 50 people, so just do it. I mean, good for you. You don't have to go into a wedding and be in debt. I mean, who you are trying to impress, for crying out loud? Instead of spending all this money, let's say you have a need, I said, I don't know, for my daughter, I want to throw the money. I have the money, I want to throw it away. Which is basically throwing away. I mean, you're throwing out tremendous amount of food down to the garbage, and then but the rest of the food that people ate, 2 days later down the road, depends on your digestive system, is going to also be flushed down in the garbage. So instead of that, take the money and then spend it, feed some poor people. There are plenty of people who are poor, there are plenty of people who don't have money, and says, on behalf of my son and my daughter, or my son-in-law and my daughter-in-law, whatever it is, hereby I'm giving, I don't know, $20,000 to make a soup kitchen, and you're going to, let the Khatan and Kala do something useful and distribute food for poor people. I think it's going to be tremendous. It's a wonderful thing. But nobody wants to do that. Everybody wants to play Princess Diane for one night. Look how she ended up. What this is all about, and why are the rabbis and the leaders and so on and so forth, have a saying and say, guys, we don't need it. I mean, forget about the issues that we have about modesty and men and women dancing together, not dressed appropriately. I mean, we solved this whole problem, chick-chack, no problem. But what is this? We all in cahoots with this whole thing, so we are, because it's like greasing our pockets here? What is this all about? If it is about true Jewish values, not a problem at all, whatsoever, to do weddings like they used to do. 50 years ago, 60 years ago, 70 years ago, people didn't do it like this. It was family, parents, siblings, that's it. I can show you pictures of my parents' wedding. And listen, let me tell you something. My parents, until my father died, they lived together for 60 years, best marriage ever. They were married for 60 years before my father passed away. What's wrong with that? So I think instead of resisting and trying to outsmart the system and to do some kind of underground wedding, with all 200 people and shish kebab and all this stuff like this, I think it's time to really be responsible, not just in terms of the pandemic, in terms of COVID and so on and so forth. I think it should be responsible in terms of Jewish values. It's a chance for us. Let's take advantage of that. Let's make lemonade with the lemons that life is throwing at us and reset ourselves into Jewish value. And that includes the way we interact in shuls and the way we run shuls and the type of shuls and what's going on in shuls. The same thing. Why do we need a Brit Milah, which is a wonderful occasion with so many people? And yet people would not think to take this money they're going to spend on the Brit Milah and put it in a fund for the child to go to Yeshiva the rest of his life. If you're going to take the money that they pay for Brit Milah, one of those fabulous Brit Milah that they do with 8-meal course and so on and so forth, and from day 8, arguments here, that's when we do the Brit Milah, from that day, you put that money that you spend on that day, you put it away in some kind of a mutual fund. By the time the kid goes to yeshiva, you don't have to worry much about his paying. You go send him to the best yeshiva without any question. But we don't think about that. So the question is, why do we do things we do? Instead of having a bat mitzvah, what are we, what's wrong with us? Everybody wants to be a celebrity. You think everybody cares about you? Take this money and put it for the future of your daughter. That maybe she'll get married. She'll be able to have a house without mortgage. To start life a little better. Why are we doing what we're doing? And I think unless we're going to learn the lesson, we're going to keep on learning the same lesson over and over. It's like a person that just doesn't pass whatever grade it, and you just have to repeat this class and you have to repeat this class. So imagine this guy is like 21 years old, he's still in 4th grade. That's what I'm saying. So we're not going to have no child left behind that we're going to be able to push the kids through the schools, and regardless of that, we're going to repeat this class. We're going to repeat that lesson until we're going to pass it. And I think that we have to be responsible. You're talking about responsibility. I think that's when we have to be responsible. So until this point, boys and girls, please think about each one of you. What are you doing? How are you doing? And again, why are you doing what you're doing? And maybe we'll be able to actually benefit from this whole thing. Have a great day.